Ah, come on. You promised me the final cut 2 weeks ago. Yeah, what do you mean I got bumped by an oral hygiene film? Hey, listen. We are talking about a significant cinematic breakthrough in the art of pornographic sleaze. Yeah, I mean, there's some very important people who are waiting for this stuff. Oh, never you mind who. You just have it finished for me today, or I'll find somebody else who will. Yeah, fine.
Damn, you want some coffee?
Yeah, I could use a cup of coffee.
Here it is.
Is that Mr. Roth over
Yeah,
there?
that's him.
What's he doing going through mug books?
You got mugged.
The man is blind.
You tell him.
Hello, Mr. Roth.
Oh, hello, Captain Miller. Yeah,
Sergeant Dietrich tells me you got mugged, huh?
nice, huh? I mean, I'm out walking in the park, or at least I think I was. I heard ducks. Well, anyway, this guy comes up to me. And he said, hey, is that Pia Zadora sitting over there? And I said, well, how the hell should I know? I'm blind. Wait, he says. And before I know it, he jumps me, grabs my wallet, and takes off.
Sounds like our friend.
Yeah.
Friend? Who?
Mr. Roth, I'm afraid you're about the 10th handicapped person to be assaulted in the last few weeks.
Boy, real class, huh?
Yeah.
Going around picking on blind guys?
Not to mention a lame. People with crutches and wheelchairs.
But, Captain, people like us don't have a lot of money.
I think he makes it up in volume.
Is this the report?
Yeah.
No witnesses, huh?
I was there.
I had in mind someone who might give us a physical description.
He smelled short.
Thank you. Harris.
Oh, Barney, you're supposed to be back in your office by now.
Harris.
Look, I just got off the phone from editing, and the movie should be ready sometime this afternoon. Or in the really near future.
Harris, if I'm not mistaken, this modest little skin flick, which you were commissioned to produce by the department so that we may better infiltrate the porno industry, was budgeted at slightly less than $3,000.
So?
So that was 8 weeks ago, in which time you have already spent in excess of $22,000.
Oh, but just wait till you see it. I mean, it looks like I spent 50.
Barn,
Yeah.
there's a disturbance in that Conway building over on Bleecker.
Who you on with?
Dietrich, who else? Fellini's been busy.
That's my line. Starry Night Productions. Hey, great. Yeah, that's terrific. Haha, you're beautiful. Bye. I got it.
What?
That was post-production. They said I can pick up my movie anytime this afternoon.
We gonna get to see it?
Well, sure, we all are.
Hey, great. Who's breathing?
It's me.
Hi, Captain.
Mr. Ross, you don't happen to know what happened to Sergeant Harris, do you?
Yeah. He went out. Said something about digging up a projector and some hors d'oeuvres.
I see.
Captain, would you like some coffee? I just made a fresh pot.
Oh,
Pour yourself a cup.
okay.
Yeah, and then let me know how you like it, huh?
Okay.
Huh?
Wow, pretty good.
Eh?
Tastes fine.
Yeah, I always sprinkle a little salt on the coffee just before the brewing cycle. Think it neutralizes the acid or something.
I see. I didn't know we had any salt around here.
It felt like salt.
Well, Mr. Roth, considering we have your statement, I really don't see there's any reason you can't go home.
Home. I can't get in. That punk stole my keys.
Oh, I'll be glad to call you manager.
He died.
Oh,
Well, anyway, Mr. Lukather, my roommate, he's gonna pick me up. Gets off work at 6.
uh-huh. Well, then I guess just make yourself comfortable.
Thank you. Captain, any particular place?
Here, come on over here.
Oh, good. Thank you. You know, I've been up here a few times. Gee, I've known you a couple of years. And I still don't know what you look like.
I guess that's true.
Captain, can I feel your face?
All right, go ahead, sure.
Thank you. Huh. Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Nice.
Thank you.
You busy tonight? I was just kidding.
Just have a seat, Mr. Roth. Just have a seat.
Just get inside then, Mr. Fuller.
Don't you understand? I had to take their money. They weren't going to give me any.
Sounds reasonable.
What's this all about?
Well, this is Howard Fuller, and I picked him up in an accounting firm. He was going from desk to desk threatening the secretaries with this. Got them to empty their purses into a wastebasket.
It was for charity.
Sure it was.
It was.
Huh?
Mr. Fuller's a professional fundraiser.
The Giving Hand, a nonprofit charitable organization.
First, he threatened the treasurer when his firm wouldn't give him a corporate donation. Then he started shaking down the secretaries.
These people, they don't understand. I've got quotas to meet. But everywhere I go, I get the same excuses. Maybe next year. Business is down. Interest rates are up. We gave at the office. Wouldn't think they're kidding. I'm in the office.
Sorry about that, Mr.
Sorry
Fuller.
doesn't cut it if you need a transplant, pal.
All right, pal. Transplant it over there.
Extra, extra. Read all about it. Inspector Frank D. Luger, Ace Media Liaison Officer of the NYPD, has arrived at the 12th precinct.
That was in this morning's paper.
Day. You're a caution.
How are you, Inspector?
Fine, just fine. Well, Joe.
Yes, Inspector.
Mr. Shearing?
Haven't seen you in a while, Inspector.
Well, you know how it is, Barney. Settling down into a new job down at headquarters, trying to get the lay of the land, responsibility of juggling them big decisions you have to make. At the same time, trying to keep tabs on the pulse speed of the entire department. Barney, there are just not enough hours in the day.
Sounds challenging.
I hate it. Huh? Still got that couch in your office, Barney? So, the way I figure it, Barney, the department is kind of rewarding me. You know, showing their gratitude for all the loyalty and dedication I put in for Lodi's many years. So they dish up this nice, prestigious job for me, a piece of cake down at the headquarters.
And?
It stinks.
What's the problem?
Well, it's just been hell for me, Barney. I don't even feel like I'm a cop anymore. Huh? I mean, chained behind a lousy desk, cooped up in a crummy little office like this, day in and day out. Taking all the guff from them snotty reporters and them TV news persons, Barney? Getting no respect from my underlings because I'm like the new kid on the block. You understand? All right, maybe I always don't do everything exactly right. Maybe I don't know how to run a Xerox machine, so go ahead, put a bullet in my brain.
Sorry it didn't work out the way you expected, but... Well, Inspector, maybe you should just face the facts. Maybe you're just not cut out for this kind of job.
Then why did you recommend me, Barney?
Showtime.
Huh?
The movie. It's here.
Great. Barney. Is this that smutty, disgusting stag film that Harris has been working on?
Yeah.
Huh? Well, what do you say? Let's take a peek, huh? We can talk anytime.
What's going on?
Showing a movie.
Motivational film, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
Crab puff?
Thank you.
Just one.
Everybody ready?
Okay. See a little skin up there. Little skin.
Come on, hold.
Well, precinct, hold your horse. Okay, we'll get someone there. Robbery in progress over at Madison, in front of the House of Canes.
That's where I got mine.
Right, Wojo and Levitt.
Thanks a lot, Barn.
I brought up the projector.
Come on.
Okay. Let's try it again.
Yeah. Try it, Harv.
So, have you been in the city long?
No. As a matter of fact, I had just stepped off the train when you stepped into my life.
I simply smiled.
But the warmth of that smile, juxtaposed against the cold indifference of the driven crowd, drew me toward you. An inexplicable cacophony of primordial passion erupted in my head, saying, "Go, you must go to him."
I'm glad. So, more wine? I'm having some.
Please.
Some cheese?
Gouda?
Of course it's Gouda. I just bought it.
Anybody want something from the snack bar?
Well, here we are.
The bedroom, of course. Predictable.
Oh, does that bother you?
I am neither hot nor bothered. I'm frightened.
Aren't they doing anything yet?
Nah, they just stand around chewing the fat.
I don't want
Nah, that's later.
Can I help you? I'm Captain Miller.
Carl Barney, President, giving hand.
Excuse me?
Giving hand.
Oh, right.
I don't mean to interrupt your morale session, Captain, but I understand you're holding our Mr. Fuller.
Can this wait a moment?
No problem, Captain. I'll watch the movie.
Down in front.
I am sorry.
The disco is quite crowded tonight.
Thank God we were attractive enough to get in.
You've changed.
You find me lovely,
You were born to wear designer jeans.
and you were born to make designs on them.
Who wrote this?
I did.
Why?
Harris, where's the sex?
There's been a little. Where's your horses?
It's been an hour. They're still dancing. Where's the sex?
There's a relationship forming here. These people aren't cheap.
Harris, I want to see some hardcore. I want to see it now.
Down, Barney. It's coming.
Hey, shut up, huh? What is this?
Shut up, will you? Wait.
I hate coming in the middle of a movie.
So do I. Barn?
Just find someplace to sit.
Aren't you gonna start it again for me and Levitt?
Sit down.
Park it over there.
That's where I was gonna sit.
Stroke of genius, inviting the entire disco over.
They're yours to enjoy. An amber field of beautiful people, a mountain range of flesh, a river of good grooming.
Cocktail, madame?
Thank you, Black Stallion.
Paris! Hitchcock does it.
You put a spell on
I want you to touch my everything.
touch. Shall we join the others in the bedroom?
Oh, my God.
Satisfied?
They are.
What's happening? I don't hear any breathing.
Wouldn't want to.
Lance
I am here.
and the others.
No, there's only us.
I want you, Lance. All for myself.
As do I, you.
Take me. It's
Our destiny.
Are we supposed to stand up?
Just eat that cereal.
Well? Pretty good, Harry. What I saw of it.
Same here.
Thank you. Arthur?
I give it 3 smiles.
Right. You got stuff in there that would gag a maggot.
Thank you, Inspector. Barney?
We'll talk later. Let's get the place cleaned up, huh? Mr. Barney, would you excuse me for a minute?
Of course.
Joe, is this our man?
Yeah, it's Arthur Duncan. He tried to jump a guy with a club foot.
Only one.
Anyway, Barn, a bunch of construction workers saw the whole thing, so they grabbed him, and they held him till we got here.
Never had a chance.
How unfortunate.
Hey, Captain.
Yeah.
It sounds like the guy who robbed me.
You certain of that, Mr. Ross?
Just make him say Pia Zadora.
I don't have to say nothing.
That's him.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ross.
Okay, Mr. Rock, come on back, have a seat.
All right. Over here, Duncan. We're gonna book you. Sit down.
Hey, I know what you're thinking. A guy who picks on gimps. A real lowlife, right? Scum of the earth. Something that crawled out of the soup.
Close.
Well, I'm not exactly in love with myself either. But try to mug Joe Average these days. I mean, everybody's into kung fu or packing a gun. Broads strutting around with their little cans, spraying mace on anything that moves. It's a jungle out there.
You're safe in here. Sit down.
Thinking of changing my line of work.
To what, grave robbing?
That's funny. Of course, nobody gets hurt.
So you hated it?
No. Wasn't quite what I expected. But I can see what you tried to do.
Tried? Barney, I have personally lifted pornography out of a pool of drool and made it into an art.
And we appreciate it. However, it was a bit verbose. The choice of music was questionable. Wouldn't hurt to lose about a half an hour in the editing room. You could probably...
You know, everybody's a producer.
Barney?
Yeah.
Still early. I think I'll be toddling along back down to headquarters.
Okay, fine, Inspector.
Yeah. Now they probably want to try and squeeze in another hour or two of verbal abuse and degradation on the old inspector before kicking him out for the night.
Inspector, I really think you're approaching this with the wrong attitude. You're not giving yourself or them a fair shake.
I let you say something like that, Barney. Nice try.
The point is, we simply can't have our people running about willy-nilly, threatening potential donors with sharp instruments. I mean, you can scarcely expect someone to give from the heart if there's a knife in it.
Sorry, Mr. Barney, I
just want to emphasize that Mr. Fuller's unfortunate methods were entirely of his own choosing and are in no way representative of or sanctioned by the giving hand.
Of course.
We simply explain the function and goals of our noble organization and then allow the individual to be guided by his own conscience, gently reminding him first, however, that our true acquisitions lie only in our charities. We gain only as we give.
Lovely sentiment. Unfortunately, we still have a problem. Mr. Fuller.
I don't. He's fired.
You're not even gonna bail me out?
No. Goodbye, Captain.
Hey, mister. You're with a charity, right?
Yes.
I'm blind.
So, get a dog.
12th Precinct, Sergeant Dietrich. Yeah, hold on a second. Captain.
Yeah.
Deputy Commissioner's office.
Oh. Captain Miller here. Yes, as a matter of fact, we just previewed it. I think you're going to be quite pleased. What? I understand it's your prerogative, but Sergeant Harris has gone to considerable... Yes, I'll tell him. Okay. Right.
Tell me what?
There's been a slight change in plans with regard to the movie.
Well, what, they want to show it to the big brass first?
Not exactly, no. It seems the commissioner's office has had second thoughts. Well, the possibility of entrapment, bad publicity for the department. They decided to scrap the whole project.
You're joking.
I'm afraid not.
What do they want to do with the movie?
They want to destroy it.
They can't have it. It's mine.
What?
I mean, it's a part of me now. I mean, this is the product of my sweat, my inspiration.
Harris, it's a dirty movie.
It's my firstborn.
Look, Harris, I can appreciate how you might feel about this, but I mean, the department has made a decision. It's up to us to abide by it.
No.
Look, I'll tell you what. I'll have Wojo run it over. That way, if it's, out of your hands, maybe it won't be so painful.
Thanks. Make me kill his kid.
It's okay, Barney. I'll run it down myself.
Okay, fine.
I've brought it along this far. I can see it through to the end. I'll be back.
Hey, Ryan. Make me a print, too.
So, how do the eggs look today? All right. Why don't you let me have 3,000 dozen? Yeah. And also half a ton of bacon, 1,600 pounds of potatoes.
1 toasted English.
And 1,500 gallons of Florida orange juice. Yeah, bye.
You ordering breakfast from Manhattan?
No, it's commodities, Barney.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got tired of doing just stocks and bonds. You know, there's a lot more action in the commodities market.
It's a lot riskier, too, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you got to know the right ones to buy.
I thought the hot commodities were the grains. Oats, alfalfa, buckwheat.
You forgot Farina and Spanky.
Very clever. Hey, listen, maybe you can use it here. It's from the PAL. They're staging their annual benefit variety show, and they're looking for cops with some performing background.
I do a pretty good Goethe impression. Take my soul, please.
Barney, back in college, didn't you, used to do a little singing?
Me?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh.
What do you say?
Well, not me.
Look up. What about Wojo?
Forget it.
All right, maybe next year.
Barney, why didn't you just tell the truth? They're both gonna come out. What are you, nuts? So
All right, take it easy. What do we got?
This one is Philip Pollock. Picked him up in Washington Square Park and is charged with assault and battery.
He just jumped me for no reason.
He knows why.
According to a hot dog vendor who saw when Pollock came up behind him and grabbed him around the neck.
I asked him, please, just take my wallet. He wouldn't.
When I got there, Pollock had him on the ground in a hammerlock.
I had to stop him.
From what?
There was a lady in front of him. He was about to steal her purse.
He's crazy. He's crazy.
Was he, reaching for the purse?
No.
Well, was he approaching the lady? Was he, making some kind of hostile gesture?
Not yet, but he was thinking of it.
How do you know? What are you, psychic?
Yes, I am. I have the gift of precognition.
I see.
So do I. Nothing to brag about. I was just born with it.
And, the woman?
Well, supposedly she kept on walking.
She was late for a dental appointment.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Kelso, have a seat over here. Sergeant Harris will take a statement.
Time we got a disturbance on 6th Avenue.
You 11. All right, Mr. Pollock, I'm afraid Sergeant Mojaho...
I know, he's going to book me.
Which desk?
There can't be two of you.
Okay.
October 15th, 1946. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I can't help it.
Sure.
I know that it's hard for somebody who doesn't have the gift to understand it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me give you an example. It's like the commercial. You know, with the guy and the girl in the elevator. And the girl is thinking, cute guy. Wonder why he keeps scratching his head. Maybe he's got dandruff. Well, I hear that.
Let's get finished with the report, all right?
All right. You can
go first if you like. 034321878. Sorry.
I'm telling you, this is destroying our civilization.
All right, move it inside.
Move what?
Just get in there. Captain, this is Ronald Hanna. Disorderly conduct and destruction of private property. He was riding on a bus and ripped down that ad.
Aunt Sally's kosher-style pickles.
2 years I've been staring at that travesty of the English language. Read it.
Aunt Sally says my pickles are the tongue-teasingest, the lip-smackingest, and the crunchiest.
I want her arrested.
Mr. Hanna's a professor of linguistics and English at NYU.
The English language is one of the most beautiful and expressive of all tongues, but it's being corrupted and debased by its chronic misuse. Manufactured lingo like that. Dull-witted cliches, redundancies, mindless phraseology. Save up to 50% and more. What does that mean?
I really don't know, Mr. Hanna, but...
Captain, it's not just a matter of a stupid pickle slogan. The manipulation of language is one of the primary methods used by those in power to confuse and divert the public. A false statement isn't a lie. It's simply no longer operative. War becomes pacification, and bombing, the vertical deployment of anti-personnel devices.
Well, you got some valid points there, Professor, but I'm afraid we're going to have to book you anyway.
Well, I have a seminar at 3 o'clock.
Hopefully you'll be out of here by then.
Hopefully.
I can't guarantee
Hopefully means with hope, Captain, not I hope. Did you mean that I will be out of here with hope? No, you meant that you hope that I will be out of here.
Right, I hope so.
I'm sorry if I was a bit sharp, but a tiny mistake like that, well, it makes me a little crazy.
Irregardless, want to have a seat over there?
Captain, should I put a warrant out for Aunt Sally?
Huh?
Did you ever taste her pickles? If you need me, I'll be downstairs, sitting quietly.
This day has been a nightmare. First, I was walking down 6th Avenue this morning. A sign in a bank window was offering free gifts. What other kind of gifts are there?
Address?
514 East 25th Street. Then, when I went to lunch, you know what the specials were? Steak au bob and filet au fish.
Look, I agree with you that language has deteriorated sharply in recent years. But let's get through with this.
Certainly.
Next of kin?
What do you mean eggs have dropped 11 cents? I thought they were the perfect food. Nah, don't sell me out. Listen, if you need more cash to cover the margin, just give me a call back, okay? Yeah.
I never eat eggs.
You know, it's people like you who are wreaking havoc with this economy.
Hey, Bart.
Yeah.
I checked Pollock here for priors. He's clean. But at the same time, I checked Kelso. 13 previous arrests, 9 of them for purse snatching.
Is that relevant? Hey, I'm telling you, he attacked me. For no reason.
Well, if he did, he sure picked the right guy.
Who is the victim here, him or me?
I'm not so sure. You signed that complaint yet?
Oh, I haven't decided yet. When I do, you'll be the first to know. Probably.
I'm gonna go out to lunch today.
Okay.
No, you're not.
Excuse me?
I feel that something's going to stop you. I sense a gloomy, overbearing presence nearby.
Pollock,
Afternoon, man.
Look, what a pleasant surprise.
Of course it is, sir. Barney.
Inspector?
Oh, Joe.
How you doing, Inspector?
God bless Poland.
Thank you, Inspector.
What brings you down, Inspector?
Oh, I got a few things here I'd like to go over with you, Barn, you know, in my capacity as media liaison officer.
Gee, I'm really sorry, Inspector, but I was just heading out for lunch.
Oh, okay, good deal. No reason why we can't go through this stuff over some chow, huh? What do you say we ankle up to the oyster bar, grandson?
Maybe it would be better to do it in my office.
Hey, whatever you say, Juan. Only you already had me slurping them oysters.
Bart, robbery in progress. So a liquor store in Bleecker.
All right, you and Harrison. Here.
No! Don't go!
We got to.
No, not you. Him. Don't go out.
Why not, Mr. Pollock?
I don't know. But something terrible is going to happen.
You know this man is seriously disturbed. You still want to go?
Yeah, sure.
It's been fun.
Inspector?
Forgot all about the old inspector, huh, Bob?
No, as a matter of fact,
Sitting here all alone, 20 minutes. Nothing to do but stare at an empty bottle of aftershave lotion.
As a matter of fact, I went downstairs, picked us up a couple of sandwiches.
Oh, good thinking, Juan.
They're out of the machine, but...
What do we got?
Well, is egg salad or olive loaf?
They finally sold it, huh? Thanks, Juan.
So? What were you arrested for?
Preventing a mugging. Ooh. How about you?
Defending the integrity of the English language.
Doesn't seem quite fair.
Unfortunately, it's often the very people who are trying to preserve the society who are the first to be persecuted by it.
Ain't it the truth?
It was nice talking to you.
So, every week, Juan, I gotta hand out these news releases to the gentlemen in the press, you know. Keep them up to date on the workings of the department. As if it's any of their business. Yeah. But it ain't easy, Barney. You know, I'm supposed to summarize all the decisions that come down from the review board. Like, forget it. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, this rotten apple from the 2nd Precinct, Bart. Been on the force 25 years. All this time he's taking kickbacks, shaking down the local merchants. The review board nails him with 64 separate counts of misconduct. I thought I'd just sum it all up by saying, police officer retires. Pretty much says it all, huh, Bob?
Pretty much.
Oh, and here's a doozy, Barney. This is about the departmental allocation about who's going to get the bulletproof vest, you know?
Inspector...
It almost sounds like the department's playing favorites or something, you know?
Inspector, didn't you say something about wanting to discuss something with me?
Right.
Concerning me?
Oh, no, not concerning you, Barn. You never give me any problems. It's just that I thought maybe you wouldn't mind giving me a little hand with this stuff, you know, try to make it sound good.
Inspector, really, that kind of writing should really be done by one person. Styles, you know.
Yeah. Right, Barn. I'll be back when you're finished. I'm just kidding, Barn. Here. Come on, I'll help you. Lefty.
Can I help you?
I'm Roger Joyce. marketing director of Aunt Sally's kosher-style pickles.
Oh, we were expecting Aunt Sally.
She doesn't get out a lot.
Vaughn, I need another word here for extortion. Something that don't sound so negative.
Yes.
Excuse the interruption. Mr. Joyce of Aunt Sally's here. You want to...
Yes. Inspector, excuse me, I've got...
Oh, sure. Okay, Barney, go ahead. I'll be right here.
Mr. Joyce, I'm Captain Miller.
I was in Aunt Sally's kitchen when I heard about this, and I'm still thoroughly confused as to why anyone would take such a violent action against our product.
You can't say things like that!
Apparently, Mr. Hanna took exception to some of your advertising copy.
But it's all true. Our pickles are the tongue-teasingest, lip-smackingest, crunchiest. We couldn't say it if it wasn't so.
I don't think that's what Mr. Hanna had in mind.
Independently conducted tests and surveys have proven conclusively that when it comes to flavor, texture, and crunchability, no other pickle comes close to Aunt Sally's.
Take it Aunt Sally is pressing charges?
Yes, she is.
That's right.
Before we proceed any further, I think I should tell you that, in reality, there is no Aunt Sally.
Oh?
We made her up.
Say.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's common industry practice. It adds a homey, personal touch that most people seem to fall for.
I have a seat over there.
There's no Sergio Valenti either.
I just talked to him yesterday.
No pacing.
Sorry, I can't help it. I'm trying to work off my psychic energy.
Do it sitting down.
It's just that sometimes the thoughts and the premonitions start coming so fast, working into my head. Oh, my God.
What's the matter?
Something's coming.
Something good?
Earthquake. Roads buckling. Buildings in rubble. People running, screaming. How could this happen in Iowa? I see headlines. Numbers going up. 21, 23, 27.
Prime rate.
32, 36. Over 40 billion served.
Prime meat.
Wars. Economic collapse. People rioting for food. Oh, my God. They've canceled Lou Grant. I see Sergeant Harris. In trouble. He's in danger. He's going down. He's falling. Plummeting. Telephone. The images are scrambling. I can't tell what it is. Something's coming. For God's sake. Somebody help him.
Mr. Pollock, just...
I sense resentment in the room. Frustration. Olive loaf. Luger? Do your own damn work!
Now cut that out, Mr. Pollock! Just cut it up, sit down before you embarrass yourself further.
I'm sorry.
Look who's back.
You're all right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that sounds reasonable.
What do you got?
Well, this is John Giddens. Tried to hold up at Dodge Liquors.
When we got there, he was still waiting for the clerk to open the safe.
You know, I'm standing there, with this tiny little gun. It's no bigger than Nancy's. And this guy comes charging in there with a .38 special, and he yells, "Freeze it, honky, or I'll blow you to Milwaukee."
Almost rhymes.
Then I drop it, and he gives me a big hug.
Where'd you book him?
Sit down over here. Come on.
Hey, Earl. What are you doing here? You snatch another purse?
Mr. Kelso, have you made your mind up yet?
Oh, yeah. Forget it.
Oh, you're not pressing charges.
I think you suffered enough, don't you?
Do you?
Then you're releasing me?
You're not under arrest.
Oh. Right. I'm going to give you a break, Mr. Mind Reader. Hope you appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Kelso. Forget about the jewelry store in Lexington.
Get out of there.
Now you can turn Pollock loose.
I've signed the complaint.
Appreciate you coming down. Oh, Ryan, your broker just called.
Called earlier, too.
Thanks.
You know, I'll bet you just got hold of a bad jar.
I never had your pickles.
But then how can you criticize? I mean, if you've never enjoyed the old-fashioned down-home goodness of Aunt Sally.
Mr. Joyce, I'm not talking about the pickles per se. I'm talking about the words you used to describe them. Tongue teasingest, lip smackingest, crunchiest. I'm surprised you don't say kosherist. Mr. Joyce, I really believe if you just say what you want to say with simplicity and purity and precision, you'll sell a lot more pickles.
Kosherist.
Please.
Kosherist. Kosherific.
What? What are you talking about? Look, I had to go on a call. Couldn't you have covered it yourself? I understand. These things do happen. Right. My eggs. I lost all my eggs.
Sorry.
My broker needed more money to cover the margin. He couldn't get a hold of me, so he dumped them. And I lost $2,100.
I told you not to go.
I told you not to go.
Well, Barney, I think I'll be heading along back downtown.
Well, we didn't finish, Inspector, did we?
No, but that's okay, Barney. I'll polish them off by myself. Maybe on the subway.
What did we say, Inspector?
June 1st, 1984. Does that date mean anything to you, Barney?
No.
It's when they put me out to pasture. Retire.
I see.
After that, the old inspector won't be coming down anymore. Telling you the old stories, chewing off your ear half the day at a time. I'll be able to be here the whole day. Looking forward to it, Bond. Lulu.
Take it Dietrich and Warjo are still out?
If God is good, why does he let people suffer?
Getting worse, huh?
Oh, my head hurts. My throat's scratchy and I'm all achy. I'm afraid to even take my temperature. Why I'm not home in bed, I'll never know.
You know as well as I, there's a manpower crunch. We got 34 cops called in sick.
I know. I was one of them.
And I really appreciate you coming in anyway.
It's still raining.
I just got off the phone with emergency services. They got power outages and flooding. From what I hear, Staten Island is 2 feet underwater.
Thanks, Barney.
Captain?
Yeah.
Manpower summary.
Oh, thank you. Anything new from the weather service?
Increased thunderstorm activity forecast for tonight. Continued heavy through Tuesday with gale force winds gusting up to 80 miles per hour in some areas.
Want to turn that radio off?
Sergeant Harris seems a bit out of it, sir.
It's a little under the weather.
Sir, As I mentioned on numerous occasions before, I'm always available to fill in up here if there should be a sudden manpower vacancy due to illness or incapacitation.
So far, Sergeant Harris is holding up pretty well.
Then, think you'll make it through the night?
We're hoping.
Well, I'll be downstairs in case his condition deteriorates.
In here. All right, what do we got?
Bart. Her name is Madeline Schaefer. She was soliciting in one of those bus shelters.
In this weather? I don't believe we've had the pleasure of your company. Are you new to this precinct?
She didn't hear that.
Huh?
She's deaf.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She didn't hear that either.
You want me to mime her rights?
So, there she was, propositioning this executive type. You were doing more than talking, if that's what you said.
She had his cards on it.
I am a deaf mute. Want a party? My name is Madeline. I think you're sexy. Here for the convention?
Here's one with prices for various services. On the back, she's got her attorney and his number.
Yeah. After we book you, you can call your lawyer. We'll call your lawyer. You want to book Miss Schaefer? I think you can handle it.
Sure. Sit there.
Miss Schaefer, you want to have a seat over there?
We heard it all before. Who wants to know?
Levitt, you know sign language?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wonderful.
My sister's deaf.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not your fault, sir. I'm sure if she were here, she'd appreciate your pity.
As long as you're here, you can help Dietrich book Miss Schaefer.
Certainly. What's the charge?
Oh, it's loitering for the purpose of prostitution.
Pretty language, isn't it?
She said she doesn't have to be doing this. She could be one of those people who hands out cards, asks for money, bothering people on movie lines. She does something for the money she gets.
It's very conscientious of you, but we're going to have to book you anyway.
Very conscientious of you. We're still going to have to book you. That's okay. Talks like that to everybody. Park it over there.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm sure someone will be down right away. Barney.
Yeah.
Alarm just went off at a warehouse down on Pier 23. Which of them is taking it?
Wojo? You and Harris.
You want me to go out?
I have no choice in the matter.
Well, what about Levitt?
He has to stay here and interpret. Unless you happen to be conversant in sign language.
I got a couple of gestures.
Save it.
Come on, let's go, Bert.
Yeah.
Still feeling that bad, huh?
Yeah, my head's still pounding. Now my ears are all stuffed up.
I was sad because I had no shoes. And then I met a man who had no feet.
Oh. Is he out there again?
I need your date of birth.
March 2nd, 1947.
You've been deaf since then? Place of birth?
Newark.
Look, I'm sorry.
She's not sorry she's deaf.
I was talking about Newark. It was funny when I said it.
No, I'm not aware of any statutes against shipbuilding within city limits. No, I don't know how many feet in a cubit. If you want the zoo, you'll have to call information. Can I help you? I'm Captain Miller. Mr. Lucas, what can I do for you? Wait. Well, I'm not deaf. Oh, you are? Oh, right, Mr. Lucas. Ah, you're Miss Schaefer's attorney, right. Makes sense. Yes, we do have an interpreter, but he's out of the room at the moment. Your client is being fingerprinted and photographed. Oh, Levitt. This is Mr. Lucas. Is Miss Schaefer's attorney. He's deaf.
Take it easy, sir. I'll fill Mr. Lucas in on the details, then I'll be needed downstairs.
Fine.
You sure you can handle things up here alone?
I think so.
I'll get it. Golf Precinct, Levitt. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks. Sir, it's dispatch about that call Harris and Wojo went out on. They spotted a suspect, chased him down the end of a pier. The suspect jumped into the river.
Oh, very clever.
Wojo jumped in after him. They're still searching.
Look, it's been 30 minutes. Come on, you must have spotted something by now. Yeah, I know. It's raining, it's dark. The currents are treacherous. But look, you're more familiar with this than I am. What do you think Sergeant Wojo Holtz's chances are? No, I don't know if he ate before he went in. What do you... Yeah, I know. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Any word on Wojo Holtz?
No, nothing yet. They put out a couple of boats trying to get a chopper up, but...
Sir, I realize this may not be the best time to bring this up. However,
I don't believe this. You're going to ask about plainclothes duty. A man's life is in jeopardy, and all you can think of is what it means to you in terms of a possible promotion.
Sir, what I was going to say is that there's been some flooding downstairs from the rain.
Oh.
They're mopping it up right now. They may have to call emergency services.
Oh.
Believe me, sir, I sincerely hope and pray that Sergeant Wojciechowicz is going to be found safe.
Levin, I'm sorry. It's just with everything going on, I just...
That's all right, sir. I understand. I realize I do tend to be a bit overly zealous in my quest for advancement, and
No, it's...
and I want to apologize if I sometimes put too much pressure on you.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's just that a permanent assignment up here would be the greatest reward for all my efforts. It would also make my deaf sister very proud. Do you want to say something, sir?
No.
But, you know, I think of all the abstract expressionists in the period, I think that Stuart Davis, with his bold use of color and his violent clash of form, or Jackson Pollock, he's very good.
What do you mean? It's almost an hour.
Are we just chatting?
Privileged communication, sir.
Harris! This has been the worst night of my life.
What about Wojo?
An hour and a half in the middle of the Hudson River, standing in the rain on the deck of some little tuna boat.
What about Wojo?
Oh, him. He came ashore way down near Pier 12, him and the guy we were chasing.
Oh, thank God he's okay.
I'm fine, too.
Okay, inside, Ferranti.
Yeah, story of my life.
Hey,
Good to see you, sir.
Hey, all right.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
What happened?
Well, this is Ed Ferrangi. This is Captain Miller. Anyway, we caught this guy coming out of a warehouse with a bunch of radios, and we chased him down to the end of the pier and thought we had him trapped, and then he jumped in the water.
I figured only a real hot dog would come in after me.
So I did. Next thing I knew, he's swimming out into the river.
I got family in Jersey.
Anyway, I just kept swimming after him, and I just about caught him. And then I got this incredible cramp in my right side.
Yeah, he starts yelling, "Help me, help me." And suddenly I see him go under the water.
So I was just about out of it. And I felt this arm around my neck. Next thing, he's pulling me back to shore. Got me up on the pier, brought me around. Then I arrested him.
We're going to book you now, Mr. Ferrangi. You're welcome.
Over here.
Sure. Harris, why don't you go back to the locker room, put on some dry clothes, huh?
All my dry clothes are home.
Check my locker. I got a lot of extra stuff there. You could probably fit into it. Go ahead.
I may just stay wet.
Sir?
Yeah.
Mr. Lucas says we may have a case of entrapment here.
That's for a judge to decide.
That's fine with me. Bail is already being arranged for Miss Schaefer.
Your home address?
1314 Delancey Street. You know, I could have kept right on going and left you at the bottom of the Hudson with a few hundred accountants.
That's right, you could have. Your business address?
712 East 45th Street. I work as a volunteer on a crisis hotline. That's just Monday through Friday. Weekends, I'm a big brother.
Huh?
I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, other guys I know who are making it big in crime, they're vicious, they're ruthless. They'd shoot you just as soon as look at you. But not me. Last week, I went in to hold up a liquor store in Queens. Who's running it? Vietnamese refugees. I wound up giving them $20 to help the boat people. I mean, I don't know what my problem is.
Maybe you're just a decent human being.
Hey, I feel bad enough already.
Here we go. Here you go. Hey, I don't want to hear it.
How long you been a policeman?
Off and on, about 7 years.
You don't look like one.
Thank you.
I think you're a lot cuter than most cops.
Is that you or her? Look, it's probably none of my business. But I don't understand how someone who's obviously intelligent, well-read, attractive, could be doing something like this.
I like to eat.
You like to eat Chinese?
I believe she prefers Szechuan.
I know a place over on 3rd Avenue, Charlie Wu's. Got a compound chicken, will knock your socks off. Who's that?
From what I gather, it's either her pimp or her boyfriend or both.
She has to sign for her valuables.
Ah, you're leaving, Mr. Lucas. Goodbye.
I want to thank you for all your cooperation.
Well, we appreciate your patience.
I also want to add that Officer Levitt's assistance was invaluable.
Glad he could be of
Can't help wondering why an officer as capable as Officer Levitt is still in uniform and not in a position where his obvious skills and abilities could be more fully utilized. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah. Take care of yourself.
Woo's tomorrow at 7.
Thanks, bro.
Should we meet there or go in the same car?
Okay, Eddie. I'm gonna have to run you over to the tombs now.
Nobody came up with the bail, huh?
No, I'm afraid not.
I called up half the people in my choir. I told them I needed some money. All of a sudden, I'm singing solo.
Maybe it's the weather.
I tell you, I'm true being Mr. Compassionate. From now on, to hell with everybody. I'm gonna start looking out for numero uno. Be careful, it's wet there.
Anything happening?
Wojo just left for downtown with that hood. I believe Sergeants Harris and Dietrich checked out.
Why don't you go on home yourself?
Yes, sir.
Levitt. Thank you.
Is that you, Barney?
I thought you'd gone home.
You want to know something? You can have money to burn, fame, success, personal and sexual fulfillment. But if you haven't got your health, you've got nothing.
I've heard that.
Sorry. It's hard to be original when you've got a temperature of 102.
So you took me up on my offer.
Oh, yeah. They're all gone anyway.
Actually, you look very nice in that outfit.
You're right.
Thank you.
It's funny. All these years I've spent money on custom tailoring, latest fashions.
Mr. Zelenka, you said that your store has been vandalized like this before.
Oh, a few times, but that's part of doing business.
Mr. Zelenka, I don't think that it... What the heck?
Uh-oh. You spilled something. Just plastic spilled milk, Sarge.
Keep forgetting you own a novelty shop.
Oh, yes. I like to keep several samples in my pocket. People always seem to enjoy being tricked.
Well, I had fun.
You know, this is our biggest selling item. It's less disgusting than plastic. Whoops. It's just as funny.
Mr. Zelenka, would you mind sitting down and going over again what happened in the shop this morning?
There isn't really very much to tell, Sergeant.
Well, tell me anyway.
Well, see, I was in the back of my store when I heard this loud crash. I walked out to the front. My window was broken and a brick knocked over my display of dribble glasses. That's all.
Excuse me. 12th precinct. What?
Hello. For you, Sarge. Just kidding. This is our phony phone. Always good for a big laugh.
Can we stop the tricks, please?
Sorry.
Yeah, a 50-50 mix of salmon, canapes, and rumaki. Oh, and look, make sure the shrimp gets there cold and fresh. I hate it when they're rubbery. No, look, I can't tell you how many squabs I need until the guest list is finalized. Yeah, I know you need time, but look, RSVPs are still coming in. Okay, look, I promise I'll let you know by 6. Okay, bye. Caterers, just try and deal with them.
Oh. Having a party?
Yeah, tomorrow night.
That's nice.
Well, I mean, it's nothing special, 35, 40 people.
Uh-huh.
It's certainly good to have those hostages back, huh?
Yeah. Party for them?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Barn? This is Werner Zelenka. He owns a shop over on Christopher. It's Captain Miller.
Zelenka?
Call me Bob.
Bob.
Yeah, I was on my way to work and I came across Mr. Zelenka sweeping up some glass on the sidewalk. Somebody had tossed a brick through his window this morning. And then they spray painted something on his wall there. I couldn't read what it said.
Just probably some kids. A new piece of glass, a little fresh paint. It'll be fine.
There also was a swastika painted on the wall.
Are you Jewish, Mr. Zelenka?
Bob. No, I'm not.
Well, anyway, I've asked him to look through some mug books. Maybe he'll spot somebody.
Okay. Well, that isn't really necessary, Captain.
It would really help us.
Don't bother with that.
To a precinct, Captain Miller speaking. Okay, I'll have someone right over. Disturbance in a library on 6th Avenue, you and Harris.
Real funny.
Like this, but under the circumstances, I felt I could make an exception.
I understand.
This is a disturbance?
Yes, Barney. This is Miss Louise Austin. She's the assistant librarian at the 6th Avenue branch.
I'm in charge of nonfiction.
She pulled out this .22 automatic from behind the checkout counter and started threatening several of the patrons.
They were chattering.
When they didn't stop talking, she fired a shot in the air.
Noise is the only thing these people understand.
So, by the time we got there, she was just herding people out of the library.
I finally had just had enough. People abusing books, never returning them on time. Vagrants sleeping all day in the reference room, using a dictionary for a pillow. Young people meeting in the stacks for romantic interludes when they could just as easily read about it.
Miss Austin.
That's what I do.
Well, we're very sympathetic, Miss Austin, but I'm afraid we're going to have to book you anyway.
Will this take long? I have storytelling at 3:30.
Why don't you tell your story to Sergeant Harris?
Miss Austin, you want to take a seat right over here, please?
Are you Sergeant Harris Runnell-In?
Yeah.
We have your book.
Oh, do you?
Blood on the badge, 364.12 in the crime section.
Well, look, I certainly hope people are bringing it back on time.
It's never left.
So if there's nothing else, I'll be going, huh?
Yeah, Mr. Zelenka, if you have any more trouble, will you let us know?
I certainly will, Sergeant. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Captain, the alarm just went off at Bob's Novelty on Christopher.
That's me.
It sure is. Look, Mr. Zelenka, I think you should wait right here, all right?
Dietrich, you and Wojo.
Mail, Graham. Came in with the usual mail. Grabbed my attention right away.
Thanks, Levitt.
Sir, manpower summaries.
Oh, thank you, Levitt.
Anything going down up here?
No, it's pretty quiet.
If I may say so, sir, you look very sharp today.
Thank you.
Try fishing for a compliment up here.
It's gonna be there.
Pardon me?
Oh, I'm just having a little get-together tomorrow night, and Ed's gonna be there.
Ed who?
Ed Koch.
The mayor?
Yeah.
Ed?
Well, remember I met him when I worked on the inauguration detail?
Right, yeah.
And since then, we've sort of tried to keep in touch.
Anybody else going to be there I might know?
A few newspaper columnists, literary people, some studio honchos from out on the coast.
Sounds like an interesting evening.
I'm going to give a party for my police friends in April.
I'll keep it open.
So I hear you're having a party, Sergeant.
So?
Just put this next to your hors d'oeuvres. Sit back and just wait for their laughs.
Okay, inside.
He's lucky I haven't done more to him.
Take it easy now. Take it easy. Barn, this is Stefan Baru. This is Captain Miller.
When we got to Mr. Zelenka's store, Mr. Brew was putting a couple more swastikas on the wall. He admitted harassing Zelenka for the last 2 months.
Why?
He knows.
Barn, Mr. Baru is a gypsy. You know that word I told you I couldn't read? It's Romany. It means murderer.
What's going on?
According to Mr. Baru, Mr. Zelenka is a war criminal.
I don't know what he's talking about.
He was at Birkenau.
Birkenau?
That's a concentration camp in Poland built to handle the overflow from Auschwitz. There was a special section for gypsies.
I was brought there in 1943 with my father and brothers. 1,000 other gypsies were there already. Those who were strong enough were put into work details. We dug canals, we hauled stones from a rock quarry. 14 hours a day in the cold and snow. In October, there were 1,100 men and women in the work groups. By spring of 1944, 15 of us were left. Zelenka was in charge of our detail.
Is that true?
You want a piece of gum?
Why don't you stop that?
I escaped a month later while I was being transferred to another camp.
Mr. Zelenka, you want to have a seat? We're going to ask you to stay a while.
Captain, this is all very silly.
Just have a seat. Dietrich, you want to book Mr. Baru?
No. Usually that's funny. Mr. Brew, would you have a seat over there, please?
Right there.
Bart?
Yeah.
I've checked out Zelenka for priors. There's nothing here.
Okay.
And we also contacted the Justice Department. They're going to send somebody down.
Fine.
You don't mind that we did that?
No, not at all. I expected you to.
Well, it's usually you want us to take it slow, and not go out of our jurisdiction, not get ahead of ourselves.
I would say that this situation warrants a certain flexibility.
We also called Poland.
They're going to get back to us.
Can I help you?
They told me downstairs you were holding a Miss Austin up here.
That's right.
I'm returning these.
Over there.
Miss Austin?
Yes?
It's me, Neil.
Who?
Neil. See, my library card.
Oh, Mr. Pomerantz. You really should have that laminated.
I went to the library this afternoon to check out some how-to books on auto repair and screenwriting. They told me you'd become a little upset. Started shooting at people.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Can I help you? William Collins from the Justice Department Criminal Division, Special Office of Investigations. I'm on. I was told that you have a dispute here between a gypsy and a Nazi. That's true. Wait, I'll get the captain. So, who's who?
Collins? I'm Captain Miller.
Could you tell me exactly what the situation is, Captain?
Mr. Baru here, it appears, was an inmate of a place called Birkenau. Birkenau was a,
I've been there.
Oh.
Yeah, well, Mr. Bruce says that Mr. Zelenka has been there, too. He participated in war crimes.
Is there anyone else in addition to Mr. Baru who's making the accusation?
There's no one else left to accuse him.
You have an office, Captain?
Certainly. What about us?
Maybe just wait out here.
It's called Poland again. Now, are you certain that what Mr. Baru is saying is the truth?
Well, he seems quite sincere.
It's not just a matter of sincerity, Captain. It's been 35 to 40 years since these incidents took place. Memory, perceptions become distorted.
I realize that.
What we need most of all is concrete and reliable evidence. Most importantly, we need corroboration. Otherwise, it is just one man's word against the gypsies.
Mr. Pomerantz, you certainly have eclectic taste in your reading matter. The Illustrated Guide to Good Posture, Historical Perspectives on the Danish Monarchs, and Mike Douglas, My Story.
I didn't read them.
What?
I don't read any of the books I take out.
Then why do you take so long to return them?
I only do that because I know that if I keep them out long enough, you'll send me one of your personal little notes threatening to revoke my privileges. I saved every one.
I had no idea.
Haven't you ever wondered why I always sit in the reference room across from your desk, browsing through the out-of-town phone books?
I just assumed you had a lot of friends.
I don't.
Mr. Baru, this is my card, and I will be in contact with you to set up an appointment to take your deposition.
Thank you.
Mr. Zelenka, you, of course, will have the right to have an attorney present at the deposition and cross-examine Mr. Baru and any other witnesses. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Wait a minute. Why can't we deal with this right now?
Sergeant, we are still at the point of unsubstantiated allegations. When and if we obtain corroborating evidence, we will go to the district court and we will commence denaturalization proceedings, which, if successful, will be followed by a hearing before an immigration judge, and we will petition for the removal of Mr. Zelenka's alien resident status, culminating in his deportation to his native land.
Figure about a week for that?
Barney? Excuse me. Barney, I just got off the phone with the American Embassy in Warsaw.
That's my job.
Yeah. They contacted the Polish government archives. They do have camp records from Birkenau, including a staff roster which lists a Sergeant Zelenka W., who was stationed there through August of 1944 when the final liquidation of the camp was ordered. And approximately 4,000 gypsies were gassed.
You were there, weren't you? That's why you didn't want to come down here. That's why you keep playing those stupid jokes all the time, right?
I assume I'm free to go now, Captain?
Hey, there must be some explanation. There must be some reason why you did what you did.
I'm an old man who would just like to be left alone.
Well, you won't be. You gotta say something.
You're free to go, Mr. Zelenka.
What? We're not holding him?
This is not a criminal matter, Sergeant.
It isn't.
No, it is criminal when it gets to Poland. Here it is simply an immigration matter.
We have documented evidence now. We're talking about 4,000 people who were murdered.
Brian, the caterer's on line 2.
Huh?
Take the call.
Oh, Barney, let's
Take the
care.
call. There's nothing more we can do.
Excuse me.
As I said, Captain, can I offer you a ride someplace, Mr. Zelenka?
It's Bob.
Okay, we can go now, Mr. Brew. I finished booking Mr. Brew. I'm going to check him for prizes and take him down for pictures and prints.
I'm sorry.
You did what you could.
We're going.
There is one more thing I feel I must say.
Certainly.
I have over 700 parking tickets.
It's okay.
Come on, Mr. Brew.
Yeah. Barn? Woj? You two, free tomorrow night?
I think I can make it.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Yeah, make that 2 more squabs.
Dietrich.
Make it 3.
Well, I guess I really should be going now. The movie starts at 6:30. I'm an usher.
Oh.
I say shh a lot, too.
You know, I'll bet you look very impressive with your flashlight.
Suppose I do. So, what happens to you now?
Well, I believe I'm going to be transferred to an
managing director of a sandpaper company. Details, Rodney. Details. Dell laughed, heading for the bar. This time next year, we'll be millionaires. Kushti. And as the jukebox in the corner began to play a familiar tune about changing seasons and tides of the sea, the brothers sat together in the heart of Peckham Bankrupt, gritty, but eternally, hopelessly undefeated. The end. The Trotter Legacy. A novelization of the fall and rise of Peckham's finest. Prologue. The changing of the seasons. The yellow Reliant Regal Supervan 3 rattled through the streets of Peckham like a tin can tied to a dog's tail. Behind the wheel, Derek Delboy Trotter hummed a tune that was as much a part of the London fog as the smell of diesel and damp cardboard. The van groaned at every corner, its fiberglass body vibrating with the effort of staying together, much like those various business schemes. "I'll fetch the suitcase from the van," he muttered to himself, the lyrics of his life playing out in his mind. "'Cause if you are the bestest, but you don't ask questions, then, brother, I'm your man." It was a philosophy that had served him well mostly. It was the philosophy of the survivor, the man who knew that where the hooky gear came from didn't matter as much as where it was going. To Dell, life was an endless cycle, much like the changing of the seasons or the tides of the sea. One moment you were eating caviar in a penthouse, and the next, you were back in the Nag's Head wondering if you could put a pint on the slate. But lately, the seasons had been particularly cruel. He glanced at his younger brother, Rodney, who sat in the passenger seat looking like a man who had just been told his library card had been revoked. Rodney was nervous. Rodney was always nervous, but today he looked positively translucent, his long, lanky frame folded awkwardly into the cramped cabin. "What's up with you, Rodney?" Dell asked, his voice a gravelly mixture of mock concern and genuine irritation. "I'm a bit nervous, that's all," Rodney replied, adjusting his tie for the 10th time. "I mean, this bloke we're going to see, this Justin, he's not going to be asking me anything about my private life, that sort of thing, is he?" Dell scoffed, shifting the van into a gear that sounded like a bag of bolts being shaken. "Of course he ain't. We're not that private, Rodders. He's a businessman, an interviewer. He wants the raison d'etre, not the under the duvet. He's not going to want to know about, me and Cassandra's little problems." Dell's eyes twinkled with a mischievous, albeit dangerous, light. No, good, 'cause otherwise I would. What problems? Me and Cassandra haven't got any problems. Rodney stared ahead. "That's not what you said to me the other night." "All right. So there's been 1 or 2 minor hiccups in the bedroom department," Rodney conceded, his voice dropping an octave as if the gear stick might be listening. "But they're personal, Dell, and I told you that in confidence." All right. Keep your hair on," Dell said, waving a gold-ringed hand dismissively. "I'm not going to be telling him about jiffins and things. And I won't tell him what Cassandra wears, either." As they pulled up to the sleek, glass-fronted office building that served as their destination, the ghosts of their past seemed to linger in the exhaust fumes. They were no longer the millionaires of a few years back. The Trotter Tower's dream had been replaced by the familiar concrete of Nelson Mandela House. But Del Boy didn't do defeat. He did intermission. Chapter 1, The Insight. Justin was the kind of man who wore a suit that cost more than those first 3 cars combined. He sat behind a mahogany desk that was polished to such a high sheen that Del could see his own reflection, and he liked what he saw. To Justin, this was an interview. To Del, it was a pitch. "Sorry to keep you waiting," Justin said, his voice smooth and professional. "It's been a particularly busy morning. Now, I've got all the basic details about your business career, etc. But what I'd like to do is to get an insight into the real you." Del leaned back, his camel hair coat draped over the chair like the skin of a conquered beast. He crossed his legs, revealing a flash of white sock that screamed Peckham Executive. He adjusted his gold D pendant, making sure the light caught it just right. "How you started, how you became so successful, Justin continued, leaning forward. But more importantly, your lives and your raison d'etre. Rodney winced at the French. Dell, however, bloomed. Oh, no. Laboratory Garney, Dell whispered, his version of liberté, eagle-eyed, fraternate mangled beyond recognition, but delivered with the confidence of a king. So, in your own words and in your own time. Dell took a deep breath, the smell of his own cigar smoke clinging to his coat providing a familiar comfort. Well, where shall I start? Justin. Well, up to a few years ago, we were just very ordinary people living. Well, very ordinary lives. Weren't we, Rodney? Weren't we? Rodney gave a stiff, mechanical nod. And then Dole's eyes went misty. As you know, one day I discovered an historic and almost priceless artifact. A watch. Not just any watch, mind you. A Harrison. The holy grail of horology. He paused for dramatic effect. Justin nodded, encouraging him. Dell spun a yarn that combined elements of Indiana Jones with a South London car boot sale. Anyway, at first, we didn't know what to do with it. Dell lied smoothly. In reality, they had nearly tripped over themselves trying to figure out how many zeros were on the end of the valuation. To begin with, we thought about donating it to the British Museum as a national treasure. Rodney cleared his throat. Yeah, and then we decided to flog it. Dell shot him a look. So, before you know, Rodders and me have come in on an eye on 6.5 million quid. 6.5 million, Justin. In the hand. Not a penny of it hooky. The room seemed to grow quiet as the memory of that wealth washed over them. It had been a time of helicopters and villas, of champagne that didn't taste like fermented apples, and of a world that finally seemed to recognize the genius of Trotter's independent traders. Well, after we divvied the dosh up, right, Dell continued, his voice softening. We made sure that our Uncle Albert got a nice little drink. But we thought of others first. We donated to charity. Enormously, of course. Enormously, Rodney echoed, though his mind was likely calculating the exact cost of the donations versus the cost of the cigars Dell had smoked during that period. So, eventually, we had to start thinking about our future, Dell said, the tone shifting to something more somber. So, we sought out this city stockbroker, Real Diamond, according to the brochures, and he advised us to invest in a new and vibrant venture. A Central American market, Rodney added, the words tasting like ash in his mouth. It was attracting massive funds from all over the world. We were told it was a sure thing. Dell nodded vigorously. We were making more money than the Royal Mint, but we weren't flat. Oh, no, 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 we weren't flat. I mean, even when we went away on business, we always took the family with us. There would be me and Raquel, my significant other, and, of course, Rodney and Cassandra. and not forgetting my young son, Damien. Chapter 2, The High Life and the Deep Fall. The memory shifted to the sun-drenched shores of their brief paradise. Del could almost feel the heat on his back and the cold condensation of a pina colada in his hand. He remembered walking into a high-end restaurant, greeted like royalty. "Oh, Mr. Potter, it's good to see you again," the Mactor D had said. "Bon appetit, Dominic. Bon appetit," Del had replied, waving a hand as if he owned the very air. It was a world of viva la vida loca, of black cats and voodoo dolls, mostly in the form of the superstitions that follow the suddenly wealthy. But beneath the surface, the premonitions were starting to stir. He remembered the chaos of family life and luxury. Cassandra, always the voice of reason, complaining about Damien's latest antics. "Ralph, you've got to have a word with Damien. People are complaining," she had said, her face flushed with embarrassment. "Oh, no. What's he done now?" Del had asked, secretly proud of his son's spirit. "He's just weed in the swimming pool." Del had laughed it off then. All little boys do enjoy a splash in the swimming pool, don't they? "Yes, Del," Cassandra had replied through gritted teeth, but not from the top of the 4-meter diving board. He was a little git, as Rodney often said, but he was a trotter, and for a while it felt like the trotter name was written in the stars. They talked about Uncle Albert, who was enjoying his retirement on the coast, living in sin with Elsie Partridge. Old Uncle Albert, he'd love it here, Rodney had mused during a quiet evening by the ocean, right next door to the sea, just like the war. Yeah, Del had agreed. At least we haven't got to sit through the Battle of the Baltic every night, during the war. But then the tide turned, not with a roar, but with the quiet tap of a keyboard. The stock market crash was like a wave that swept away their sand castles. It turned out that negotiations between the Central American countries had collapsed. Del explained to Justin, the pain evident in his eyes. Yeah, it was wiped out. Every penny. Nicked the lot. The transition from Mr. Potter to that bloke who owes us for the minibar had been instantaneous. They had paid for the hotel on a credit card, a card that was withdrawn before the ink on the receipt was dry. But Derek is, if nothing else, a very creative businessman, Rodney told the interviewer, a hint of genuine respect breaking through his usual cynicism. He came up with a solution to our dilemma. Up there, Del had shouted, pointing to a flight path that would lead them back to the reality of Peckham. The news hit the UK faster than a rumor in the Nag's Head. Suddenly, their business associates weren't returning calls. The penthouse was gone. The peacocks were gone. They were cast into a financial wilderness, returning to the only place that would have them, Nelson Mandela House. Chapter 3, The Trial of Friends. The return to Peckham wasn't just about losing money, it was about the fallout. Their friend Mike Fisher, the landlord of the Nag's Head, had invested his life savings into the Trotters' venture. He had remortgaged the pub, betting everything on Del Boy's sure thing. Now, Mike was in prison, awaiting trial for embezzlement, a desperate attempt to recoup the losses. Never was a man more innocent, Del insisted to the interviewer, his voice cracking. The scene shifted in Del's mind to the courthouse corridor. The air was thick with the scent of cheap floor wax and anxiety. Denzel was pacing, his footsteps echoing like a ticking clock. For God's sake, Denzel, sit down. Albert had said, the memory of his voice sharp and clear. You're wearing the marble out. I can't, Albert, can I? Denzel had replied, I've never been a character witness before. I'm worried. I think Del's made a terrible mistake, having us for as witnesses. It's like inviting the Manson family to dinner. Trigger, ever the enigma, had looked up from a crumpled newspaper. I'm going to tell them I hear voices. No, Trig, Rodney had sighed. You're not on trial. You're a character witness. I know, Trigger had said simply, but I hear voices. It had been a disaster. The Trotters lost their homes. Dill's estate with the peacocks became a dream that was auctioned off to pay the interest on the interest. Every day there was more rows, more bad news. Del told Justin, we thought things couldn't possibly get worse. Oh, boy, how wrong we were. Chapter 4, The Empty Chair. The blow that hurt the most wasn't financial. It was the call from Elsie Partridge's son, Uncle Albert, the man who had survived torpedoes, shipwrecks, and Del's cooking, had finally reached his final port. The funeral was a blur of black coats and the biting cold of a London winter. Del felt a profound sense of guilt. They had been off globetrotting while Albert had been in a rest home, his wartime stories falling on the ears of strangers. I feel bad, you know, Del whispered to Rodney as they stood by the hearse, leaving him here on his own while we was all off in Barbados. He wasn't on his own. Del, Rodney tried to comfort him. He had Elsie's family. But the funeral itself turned into a classic Trotter farce. They stood among the mourners, listening to tales of a man named Bunny who was a hero in the RAF. Why did you call him Bunny? Del asked a grieving relative. Well, that's what they called him in the RAF, didn't they? Because his surname was Warren. Del froze. He looked at the coffin. He looked at the headstone. He looked at the mourning family who were definitely not the Warrens he knew. Ooh, Del whispered, his face turning the color of his beige coat. We're at the wrong funeral. They had spent an hour mourning a complete stranger. It was the kind of moment that would have made Albert roar with laughter, or perhaps start a story about the time he buried a Commodore in the wrong hemisphere during the war. Chapter 5, The Gold Rush. Back in the present, the weight of the inland revenue hung over them like a guillotine. 48,750 for pounds. That was the magic number, plus interest. It was a figure that seemed designed to keep them in the concrete canyons of Peckham forever. So, what are we going to do? Then, Dad, Damien asked, his young face mirroring his father's stubbornness. I suppose you could always look for a job, Raquel suggested gently. Trigger said they're recruiting down at his depot. Road sweeping. The thought of Rodney the man with to G.C. East bushing a broom was too much for Dell. I'm a traitor, ain't I? Dell declared, his eyes catching the light of the flickering television. I've been trading all my life. I could sell rice to the Chinese. He had a plan. He was going to become the manager of a new firm. Since he was disqualified from running a company, he would make Rodney the managing director. Rodney Trotter, Dell beamed, the new face of Trotter's independent traders. You'll be in charge of sales, purchasing, and finance. I'll just be the consultant. But the debt remained, and then the flickering screen provided an answer. Gold Rush, the fastest game show on TV, hosted by Jonathan Ross. I'm going to apply, Dell said. Rodney laughed. Dell, last night one of the questions was who introduced the potato to England. And you said King Edward. I didn't hear the question properly. Dell snapped. But he did it. He got on. The night of the show was a fever dream. The lights were too bright, and Jonathan Ross's suit was even more expensive than Justin's. Dell stood there, representing fine wines, the theater, and 16th century Italian Renaissance art. He sailed through the first round by pure luck. Kilimanjaro. Yes, because Fuji made cameras. He was moving up the Rainbow Road. Then came the moment, the 50,000 pounds question, the penalty question that could save him or sink him. Which classical guitarist wrote the opera The Child and the Enchantment? Was it Ravel, Segovia, or Rodrigo? Dole's mind went blank. He used his SOS. He called Rodney. Back in the flat, Rodney and Cassandra were dressed as a policewoman and a gladiator, an attempt at fantasy therapy that had gone horribly awry when Dell unexpectedly stayed home. When the phone rang and Jonathan Ross's voice came through, Rodney thought it was Mickey Pierce winding him up. Oh, piss off, Mickey, you're getting on my tits now, Rodney shouted. But it was real. Rodney, help me. Dole's voice pleaded through the speaker the guitar question, Ravel, Segovia, or Rodrigo. Rodney, with the confidence of a man who had once heard a record in a library, answered, Ravel, 100% Dell. Ravel, Dell shouted to the nation. Derek, Jonathan Ross said, a look of genuine pity on his face. That was the wrong answer. It was Segovia. Dole's heart didn't just break, it imploded. He had lost. He had lost the money, the flat, and his dignity on national television. Chapter 6, The Phone Call of Destiny. Back at the flat, the mood was funeral quiet. Dell was missing, having disappeared into the night. When he finally returned, He looked older, tired. The vibrant, larger-than-life characters seemed to have been hollowed out. I could have sworn it was Ravel, Rodney muttered, looking at his feet. Everyone knows Ravel makes shoes. Dell exploded, though there was no real heat in it. It was a trick question, and you fell for it. They sat in the dim light of the living room, the reality of bankruptcy settling in. They were back at the bottom, but they were together. Then the phone rang. Hello, Rodney answered. Yes, can I ask who's calling? He handed the phone to Dell. It's the producer of Gold Rush. Dell took the phone, his face hardening. I bet it's about that podium. I bet someone's damaged it. Probably Jonathan Ross tripped over his own ego. Hello. Yes, this is Derek Trotter. Dell listened. His eyes widened. His jaw dropped. His hand began to shake. And for a moment, Rodney thought he was having another hard turn. What? No, no. He looked at the family, his face transforming from despair to a manic, golden joy. He said there's been a mistake. Dell whispered. It was Ravel. The researcher got it wrong. I've won the 50,000 pounds. The room erupted. Cheers, hugs, the sound of champagne, or at least the promise of it, filled the air. I knew I was right, Dell shouted, his voice regaining its Peckham swagger. Give the money to charity. Pull the other one. It's got bells on. We're the Trotters, and we're back. Chapter 7, The Nag's Head Jubilation. The news of Del Boy's windfall spread through Peckham faster than a cheap suit in a rainstorm. By the time the Trotters arrived at the Nag's Head, the pub was already buzzing. Sid, the stand-in landlord while Mike was away, had already lined up a row of glasses. Trigger was there, looking at a pint as if it contained the secrets of the universe. Boyke and Marlene were in their usual corner, Boyke looking particularly smug as he adjusted his silk tie. I hear you've come into a bit of official money, Dell, Boyke drawled, his laugh sounding like a machine gun in a library. 50 grand. Hardly enough for a decent cigar, but for you, it must feel like the crown jewels. Jealousy is a terrible thing, Boyke, Dell shot back, slamming a stack of notes onto the bar. A round for everyone, Sid, and make it the good stuff. None of that house vinegar. Nice one, Del boy, Trigger said, nodding slowly. I knew you'd win. I had a feeling in my water. You always have a feeling in your water, Trig, Rodney sighed, leaning against the bar. Usually it's just the plumbing. As the night wore on, the alcohol flowed and the stories grew taller. Denzel talked about the trial, Denzel still shaking his head at the memory of Trigger's testimony. But beneath the laughter, there was a sense of relief. The Trotters weren't just back in the money, they were back in their element. I'm telling you, Rotters, Dell whispered, his arm around his brother's shoulder. This is just the start. 50 grand. That's seed money. We're going to turn this into 500. Millionaires by Christmas. I promise you. Rodney looked at his brother, seeing the old spark back in his eyes. He knew it was unlikely. He knew they'd probably lose it all on a shipment of one-legged trousers or glow-in-the-dark Bibles. But for tonight, he didn't care. Yeah, Del, Rodney smiled. Millionaires by Christmas. Chapter 8, The Morning After. The sun rose over Nelson Mandela House, casting a long shadow across the parking lot where the yellow van sat, a silent witness to their roller coaster life. Inside the flat, the air was heavy with the scent of stale celebration and burnt toast. Del sat at the small kitchen table, a mountain of paperwork spread out before him. The Inland Revenue, the Customs and Excise, the various business associates who had suddenly rediscovered his phone number. "What are you doing, Del?" Raquel asked, coming in and placing a hand on his shoulder. "Just planning, sweetheart," Del said, his voice quiet. "This 50 grand. It's a lifeline. But we have to be smart. No more sure things. No more Central American markets." "You mean it?" Raquel asked, her voice full of hope. Del looked up at her, and for a second, the mask of the salesman slipped. "I have to mean it, Raquel. For you. For Damien. For the memory of the old man." He looked at the empty chair where Uncle Albert used to sit, telling tales of the war and the sea. He could almost hear the old man's voice, warning him about the sharks in the city. "We're going back to basics," Del declared, his voice regaining its strength. "Trotters independent traders, buying and selling, finding the gaps, being the bestest." Rodney walked in, looking like he'd been dragged through a hedge backward. "Are we still millionaires, Del?" "In spirit, Routers," Del grinned, tossing him a set of keys. "Now, get the van started. I've heard a rumor about a shipment of slightly used digital watches in Sitcom. We've got work to do." As the Reliant Regal roared, or rather, coughed to life in the parking lot below, Del Boy stood on the balcony, looking out over his kingdom. The seasons had changed, the tides had turned, and the trotters were still standing. "Cushty," he whispered to the London wind. Chapter 9, The Sidcup Hustle. The drive to Sidcup was an ordeal that only the brave, or the desperate, would undertake in a three-wheeled van with a heater that emitted nothing but the faint scent of burning damp. Rodney hunched in the passenger seat, his knees pressed against the dashboard. "I don't like this, Del," Rodney complained, pulling his scarf tighter. "Sidcup, it's practically in the countryside. And these digital watches, who's the contact?" Del wrestled with the steering wheel as the van hit a pothole. "It's a bloke named Nifty Neville. A diamond, Rodney. He's got a warehouse full of them. Latest tech, water resistant up to 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters? Del, that's a light drizzle." "Exactly. Perfect for the British climate," Del replied, beaming. "And get this, they're solar powered. No more batteries. You just show them to the sun, and bingo, you know what time it is." They arrived at a desolate industrial estate that looked like a set for a post-apocalyptic film. Nifty Neville was waiting, leaning against a rusted shutter. He handed Dell a cardboard box. Dell opened it to reveal a sea of plastic watches, each one flashing 12 o'clock with desperate urgency. "Look at that, Rodders. Pure class," Dell admired, strapping one onto his wrist. He held his arm out of the van window, waiting for the weak London sun to work its magic. Nothing happened. It's a bit shy. That's all," Dell muttered, shaking his arm vigorously. "It needs a bit of oomph. Give it a rub, Rodney." Chapter 10. Solar Power in a London Fog. Market day at Peckham was a symphony of chaos. Dell stood on his favorite pitch, the cardboard box of solar watches front and center. "Step right up, ladies and gentlemen." Dell's voice boomed over the crowd. "Don't look at the price, look at the quality. Are you tired of batteries dying? Are you sick of losing time when the lights go out? Well, worry no more. The Trotter Solar Watch is here." A small crowd gathered, drawn in by the sheer audacity of his delivery. "Is it waterproof?" a woman asked, pointing at the plastic casing. "Is it waterproof?" Dell laughed, a sound of pure mock indignation. "Darling, this watch was designed for the French Navy. You could dive to the bottom of the Thames, and it would still tell you it's time for a cup of tea." Just then, a dark cloud moved over the market, and a thick, gray fog began to roll in. One by one, the displays on the watches began to fade. The flashing 12 o'clock became a dim memory, then vanished entirely. "Oi, my watch has gone blank," a man shouted, holding up his wrist. Dell didn't blink. That, sir, is the echo sleep feature. It's saving power. It knows you're not looking at it, so it's having a little nap. Pure genius in it. Rodney, standing at the back of the pitch, put his head in his hands. "Dell, the fog is getting thicker. We're selling invisible time." "Nonsense, Rodney. It's an atmospheric horological experience," Dell whispered back, before turning to the crowd with a wide grin. "Who wants another? Buy two, and I'll throw in a set of glow-in-the-dark shoelaces." Chapter 11. The Echoes of the Empire. Back at the Nag's Head that evening, the Sitcom sting was the talk of the bar. Dell sat with a large cognac, a pile of unsold solar watches in a bag at his feet. "So, Dell," Boyke said, leaning over with a smirk that could curdle milk, "I hear you've been selling watches that only work in the Sahara. Very forward-thinking of you. I suppose your next venture will be selling ice cubes to the Eskimos?" "It's about the future, Boyke," Dell retorted, not missing a beat. "Renewable energy, green technology. I'm an environmentalist now. I'm Dell Green Trotter." Trigger nodded solemnly from his stool. "I like the watches, Dell. I bought one. It told me it was midnight all afternoon. Very peaceful." Rodney sighed, sipping his pint. We made 20 quid, Dell, and half of that was from selling the shoelaces to a blind man. Raquel arrived, sitting down next to Dell. She looked at the bag of watches and then at Dell's hopeful face. At least you're trying, Dell. That's what matters. Exactly, sweetheart, Dell said, squeezing her hand. We're back on the streets, the pulse of the city. We're traders, Rodney. We don't need millions to be happy. We just need a good pitch and a bit of luck. Rodney looked around the pub at the familiar faces, the peeling wallpaper, and the warm, noisy atmosphere. He realized that despite everything, he wouldn't trade this for a boardroom in Central America. I suppose you're right, Dell, Rodney admitted. But if you bring home a shipment of solar-powered umbrellas, I'm leaving. Chapter 12, Bonjour, Peckham. The night was quiet as Dell stood on the balcony of Nelson Mandela House. The lights of London stretched out before him, a tapestry of possibilities and its pitfalls. He thought about the Harrison watch, the helicopters, and the crash. It felt like a lifetime ago. He looked at the yellow van in the parking lot below. It looked small and battered, but it was still there. It had survived the million-pound dream and the bankruptcy nightmare. It was a trotter through and through. You okay, Dell? Raquel asked, joining him. Yeah, Dell breathed, the familiar scent of the city filling his lungs. I was just thinking, we've been through a lot, haven't we? But we're still here, still fighting, still trading. And we've got each other, she reminded him. And 50 grand in the bank, Dell added, the old twinkle returning to his eyes. Well, 49,980 after today's expenses. He looked up at the stars, which were finally visible as the fog cleared. You know, Rodgers is a good lad, Dell mused. He's got his GCEs, his ideas, but he needs me. He needs the old Del Boy touch. He leaned over the railing, shouting into the darkness, hear that, London, the Trotters are back, and this time next year. Well, you know the rest. Raquel laughed and pulled him back inside. As the door closed, the faint sound of a distant police siren echoed through the streets, a reminder that in Peckham, the hustle never truly ends. Bonjour, Peckham, Dell whispered as he turned off the light. Bonjour. Chapter 13, The Executive Suit. The following Monday, Rodney arrived at the flat wearing a suit that was so sharp it could have been used to carve a Sunday roast. It was a charcoal gray number, impeccably tailored, or at least it looked that way until he tried to sit down and the seams let out a high-pitched scream of protest. You look like a proper businessman, Rodney, Dell remarked, stirring a cup of tea with a gold-plated spoon, a bit like a younger, slightly more gaunt version of Richard Branson, minus the island, and the airlines, and the charisma. I'm taking my role seriously, Dell, Rodney insisted, checking his reflection in a toaster. Cassandra says if I'm the managing director, I should project an image of authority. We're having an executive lunch today. An executive lunch. Sounds posh. Dell said, his interest piqued. Where are we going? The Ritz, Savoy, Barney's Cafe. We're going to that new place, Le Petit Gourmet. Rodney said proudly. It's very exclusive. You have to book a table 3 weeks in advance. 3 weeks. I could have grown my own potatoes in that time, Dell scoffed. But go on, then. I'll come as your consultant. I've got some consulting to do anyway. I need to see a man about a consignment of, well, let's just say it's an atmospheric opportunity. The lunch was a disaster of epic proportions. The portions were so small that Dell spent 10 minutes looking for his steak with a magnifying glass. When the bill arrived, it was more than Rodney's weekly salary. 25 quid for a sprig of parsley and a piece of meat the size of a postage stamp. Dell whispered, his face turning a dangerous shade of red. I've seen more substance in a political manifesto. It's about the experience, Dell. Rodney hissed back. Experience? The only experience I'm having is the experience of starvation. Dell retorted. He leaned over to a nearby table where a wealthy-looking couple were dining. Excuse me, sir, are you finished with that bread roll? Only my managing director here has a very sensitive appetite. Chapter 14, The Bargain from Brussels. A few days later, Dell returned to the flat looking like he just won the lottery. He was carrying a small, metallic briefcase that looked remarkably like the ones used by nuclear scientists in 1960 spy films. Gather round, everyone, Dell announced, placing the briefcase on the kitchen table. Rodney, Raquel, Cassandra, if you're finished with your executive bookkeeping, take a look at this. He flipped the latches and opened the case. Inside were dozens of small, silver canisters that looked like miniature fire extinguishers. What are they, Dell? Raquel asked, peering into the box. Hairspray, deodorant, anti-tank missiles. Better, Dell beamed. This, my dear family, is alpine oxygen. Fresh air, straight from the peaks of the Swiss Alps. Compressed, purified, and ready to revitalize the weary lungs of the London workforce. Rodney stared at the canisters. Dell, you've bought a box of air? Not just air, Rodney. Alpine air. It's the latest craze in Brussels. All the top executives are using it to stay sharp. One puff of this, and you're ready to take on the world. I've got 2,000 canisters arriving tomorrow. How much did they cost? Cassandra asked, her eyebrows reaching for her hairline. A bargain. 5 grand for the lot. We sell them at 5 quid a puff, a canister, and we're looking at a 10,000 pound profit. Tax-free, naturally. Dell, the air in London is free, Rodney pointed out. Dirty, yes, but free. Free but filthy. Rodney, this is pure. It's trotter fresh. I've already got a marketing slogan. Don't just breathe, peak performance. Chapter 15, The Charity Gala and the Smog. The timing of the Alpine oxygen launch couldn't have been more perfect. A thick, yellow smog had descended upon London, turning the city into something resembling a giant bowl of pea soup. People were coughing, spluttering, and generally desperate for a breath of something that didn't taste like coal dust. "This is it, rotters," Dell shouted, loading the van. "The market will be screaming for this. We're going to be heroes, like the Red Cross, but with better jewelry." They set up their pitch in the heart of Peckham. Dell was wearing a white lab coat he'd borrowed from a local dentist, and Rodney was standing by with a megaphone. Feeling sluggish, lungs feeling like a chimney sweep's waistcoat, Dell shouted, "Get your trotter fresh Alpine oxygen. One puff and you'll think you're skiing in St. Moritz." A crowd gathered instantly. People were clamoring for the canisters, waving 5-pound notes in the air. For 2 hours, it was a frenzy. Dell was sweating, his lab coat stained with fog, but he was grinning like a Cheshire cat. "I told you, Rodney, vision, that's what I've got." But then the first complaint arrived. A man who had just bought 5 canisters came back, looking less than revitalized. "Oi, this canister is empty," he shouted. "Empty? Impossible," Dell said, taking the canister. He pressed the nozzle. A faint, wheezing sound emerged, followed by a smell that was definitely not reminiscent of the Swiss Alps. In fact, it smelled remarkably like Brussels sprouts, Rodney whispered, sniffing the air. "Brussels sprouts," the man roared. "I'm breathing in a Sunday dinner." Chapter 16, The Reality of Fresh Air. It turned out that Nifty Neville's Brussels contact had been slightly less than honest. The canisters weren't filled with Alpine air. They were a surplus batch of industrial-grade gas used in a Belgian vegetable packing plant. The crowd quickly turned from desperate customers to an angry mob. Dell and Rodney barely made it to the van before the first tomato hit the windshield. "Start the engine, Rodney, start the engine," Dell screamed. The Reliant Regal coughed, spluttered, and then roared to life, screeching away from the market just as a hail of empty canisters rained down around them. Back at the flat, the silence was deafening. Raquel and Cassandra were waiting, their arms crossed. So, Raquel said softly, "How did the peak performance go?" Dell sat down at the table, his lab coat torn and his pride even more so. "Well, we had a bit of a technical glitch. The Belgian atmosphere is a bit more robust than I anticipated. You lost 5,000 pounds, Dell," Cassandra said, her voice like ice. No, not lost. Invested in a lesson," Dell corrected weakly. "And besides, we've still got the canisters. They're very durable. We could use them as door stops." Rodney looked at his brother, and for a moment he felt a surge of anger. But then he saw the exhaustion in Bill's eyes, the way his shoulders slumped. He realized that Dell was just trying to get them back to where they were, to the glory days of the Harrison Watch. "It's okay, Dell," Rodney said, sitting down next to him. "We've still got the 44,000 from the game show. We're not broke." Dell looked up, a small smile playing on his lips. "You're right, rotters. You're right. And I've heard a rumor about a shipment of slightly damaged electric toothbrushes in Gravesend. They're sonic, apparently. Very modern." Raquel sighed and walked over to the kitchen. "I'll make some tea. And Dell." "Yes, sweetheart. No more air from anywhere." "Promise," Dell said, crossing his heart with a gold-ringed finger. He winked at Rodney. "But toothbrushes, rotters. Everyone's got teeth, haven't they? It's a guaranteed winner." As the kettle began to whistle, the Trotters sat together in the heart of Peckham, a family built on dreams, disasters, and an unbreakable bond that no amount of Belgian sprout gas could ever truly tarnish. Chapter 17, The Gravesend Gamble. The trip to Gravesend was conducted in a silence that was only broken by the rhythmic thwack-thwack of a loose wiper blade against the windshield. Dell was focused, his hands gripping the steering wheel as if he were piloting a fighter jet through enemy territory. Rodney, on the other hand, was reading a pamphlet about business ethics and social responsibility, looking like a man about to go to his own execution. "These toothbrushes, Dell," Rodney said, not looking up. "Nifty Neville said they were slightly damaged." "What does that mean in nifty terms? Does it mean they don't have bristles? Or do they just explode when you plug them in?" "Don't be so cynical, Rodney. It's cosmetic damage," Dell explained, weaving through traffic. "A few scratches on the box, maybe a slightly wonky logo. But inside, pure sonic technology, 20,000 vibrations per second. It's like having a miniature jackhammer in your mouth, but, gentle." They reached a warehouse that looked even more derelict than the one in Sidcup. A man named Shifty Arthur, a close associate of Nifty Neville, was waiting. He gestured toward a mountain of crates. "There they are, Dell, the Ultrasonic 3000, experimental model, straight from the lab in Japan." Arthur lied, his eyes darting toward the exit. Dell opened a box. The toothbrushes looked impressive, sleek, silver, and heavy. He pressed the on button. A low-pitched hum filled the air, and for a moment, every loose piece of metal in the warehouse began to vibrate in sympathy. "Hear that, rotters? Power?" Dell shouted over the hum. "I'll take the lot." Chapter 18, The Sonic Boom. The following Saturday, the Trotters set up their pitch in Peckham once again. This time, Dell was wearing a silk bathrobe over his clothes, looking like a man who had just stepped out of a luxury bathroom. "Do you want teeth so white they'll blind a bus driver?" Dell's voice echoed through the market. "Do you want a smile that says I'm a millionaire even if I live in a flat?" then you need the ultrasonic 3000. A crowd gathered, intrigued by the silk bathrobe. Rodney stood by with a bowl of water and some stained dentures he'd acquired from somewhere. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen, Dell announced. He dipped a toothbrush into the water and pressed the button. The hum was much louder than before. In fact, it was so loud that a car alarm across the street went off. The water in the bowl turned into a fine mist instantly. The dentures didn't just get clean, they began to rattle so violently that one of the front teeth flew out and hit a passing policeman in the helmet. "Oi!" the policeman shouted, looking around. "It's just the deep clean mode," Dell whispered urgently to the crowd. "It's finding the stubborn stains. Who wants one? 5 quid. A fraction of the retail price." But then something strange began to happen. A pack of local dogs, led by a particularly large Doberman, began to howl in unison. They raced toward the pitch, their ears flat against their heads, looking like they were responding to a silent call from a distant planet. "Dell, I think the frequency is a bit high," Rodney said, backed against the van as 5 dogs began to circle them. "Nonsense. Dogs love hygiene," Dell shouted, but even he looked worried as the Doberman began to gnaw on the leg of the display table. Chapter 19, The CEO's Dilemma. Back at the flat, the living room was filled with the low-pitched hum of several dozen ultrasonic 3000s that Dell was testing. Raquel and Cassandra were in the kitchen, their heads buried in their hands. "Rodney," Cassandra said, her voice trembling with frustration, "as the managing director, can you please tell your consultant to turn off the miniature jet engines? My teeth are literally vibrating in my head." Rodney walked into the living room. "Dell, turn them off. The neighbors are complaining that their television signals are scrambled, and every cat in the building is currently hiding under a sofa." Dell switched them off, and the silence that followed was heavy. "Rodney, you've got to see the bigger picture. We've sold 50 of them. Sure, we've had a few returns from people whose fillings fell out, but the profit margin is huge." "Dell, we can't sell these," Rodney said firmly, his CEO persona finally taking charge. "They're dangerous. They attract animals and scramble electronics. It's a health and safety nightmare." Dell sat down on the sofa, looking at the silver toothbrushes. "I just wanted a winner, rotters. Something that would make up for the air canisters. Something professional. Professionalism isn't about the product, Dell," Rodney said, his voice softening. It's about not being a menace to society." "I suppose so," Dell sighed. He looked up at Rodney. "So, what do we do with 2,000 sonic toothbrushes?" Rodney thought for a moment. "I heard a rumor that the local council is looking for a way to scare away the pigeons from the town hall. If we mount these on the roof." Dell's eyes lit up. "Rodney, you're a genius. A sonic pigeon deterrent. We sell them to the council at 20 quid a unit. We'll make a fortune. Chapter 20, The Trotter Way. The contract with the council was signed within a week. The ultrasonic 3000s were installed on the roof of the Peckham Town Hall, and for the first time in 50 years, not a single pigeon dared to land within 100 yards of the building. Dell and Rodney stood on the pavement across the street, watching as a confused bird hovered in midair before screeching and flying toward Brixton. Look at that, rotters. Innovation, Dell beamed, pocketing a check from the council. We've done a public service and made a tidy profit. That's the Trotter way. Yeah, Rodney admitted, a small smile appearing on his face. I guess it worked out. They walked back toward the Nag's Head, the familiar sounds of the city surrounding them. They weren't millionaires, and they weren't in Barbados. They were in Peckham, with a bankrupt business, a yellow van, and a family that drove them crazy. But as Dell pushed open the pub door and waved a greeting to Trigger and Boyke, he knew he wouldn't have it any other way. You know, rotters, Dell said, leaning against the bar. I've heard a rumor about a shipment of slightly used solar-powered calculators in Dartford. They're smart, apparently. They can predict the weather. Rodney groaned and took a deep sip of his pint. Here we go again. No, really, think about it. Everyone's got numbers, haven't they? It's a guaranteed winner. As the sun set over Peckham, casting long shadows across the concrete towers, the Trotters were still dreaming, still trading, and still against all odds together. Kushti, Dell whispered, raising his glass. Kushti. Chapter 21, The Dartford Dash. The trip to Dartford was arguably the most terrifying 60 minutes of Rodney's life. The Reliance engine was making a sound that suggested a disgruntled goblin lived under the hood, and Dell was driving with the reckless abandon of a man who believed speed limits were merely suggestions for the unimaginative. These calculators, Dell, Rodney shouted over the wind whizzing through a gap in the door. Predicting the weather. It's mathematically impossible. A calculator is for long division, not for telling you if you need a brolly. It's about the sensor, rotters. It's got a barometric quartz processor, Dell replied, narrowly missing a milk float. You punch in your postcode, hit the equals sign, and bingo, it gives you a percentage chance of precipitation. It's the future of agriculture. Son, every farmer from here to Norfolk will be screaming for him. They met the supplier, a man known only as Stuttering Stan, in a car park behind a derelict cinema. Stan produced a box of devices that looked like regular calculators, but had a peculiar, tiny antenna sticking out the side. SSS solar power, Dell, Stan stammered, tapping the tiny panels, and the WWW weather logic, PPP pure genius. Dell didn't even haggle. He handed over a chunk of the council's pigeon money and loaded the boxes. As they drove away, Rodney noticed the antennas were actually just painted toothpicks glued to the side. Del, these aren't sensors, Rodney whispered, pulling one off easily. Of course they are. They're biodegradable receivers. Del snapped. Now hush up. I'm mentally calculating our markup. We're going to be the Michael Fishes of the digital age. Chapter 22, The Prophecy of the Postcode. Back at the flat, Del had set up a meteorological testing station on the kitchen table. He was surrounded by maps, postcode directories, and half a dozen smart calculators. Right, let's test Peckham, Del announced. He punched in his E15 and hit the equal sign. The screen flickered and displayed 70 to 0.5%. 72% what? Del, Raquel asked, peering over his shoulder. Son, darling, 72% sun. Del beamed. He looked out the window. It was currently pouring with rain, a steady, gray London drizzle that looked like it had no intention of stopping until 2030. The calculator says sun, Del, Rodney pointed out, gesturing to the deluge outside. It's a proactive forecast, Rodney. It's predicting the sun for tomorrow. It's thinking ahead. It's got a bigger brain than you, that's for sure. But as the night wore on, every postcode Del punched in resulted in exactly the same number, 70 to 0.5%. Whether it was the North Pole, the Sahara Desert, or the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, the smart calculator remained stubbornly optimistic. It stuck. Del, Rodney sighed. It's not a weather sensor. It's just a calculator with one broken button that always displays 70 to 0.5. Del stared at the screen, his face a mask of stubborn denial. Maybe the world is just becoming very consistent. Rodney, have you thought of that? Maybe it's global stabilization. Chapter 23, The Peckham Heat Wave. The next morning, Del was at the market pitch, wearing a pair of oversized sunglasses and a Hawaiian shirt that looked like it had been designed by someone in the middle of a high fever hallucination. Don't get caught in the rain. Don't get burnt in the sun. Del's voice rang out. Know the future before it happens with the Trotter Weather Whiz, as used by the Himalayan Sherpas. A small crowd, damp from the morning rain, gathered round. How does it work then, mate? A burly man asked. Simple, sir. Punch in your location, hit equals, and it tells you the atmospheric destiny. Del handed him a calculator. The man punched in his number. The screen flashed, 70 to 0.5%. What's that mean? That, sir, means a 70 to 0.5% chance of a glorious heat wave. Del lied, not missing a beat. Just as the words left his mouth, a sudden, violent crack of thunder echoed through the market, and the sky turned a bruised, angry purple. The crowd looked at the sky, then at the calculator, then at Del. Heat wave, A, the man said as the first hailstones began to bounce off the display. It's It's a localized pressure inversion, Dell shouted, scrambling to cover the boxes with a tarpaulin. The calculator is sensing the heat behind the clouds. It's very sensitive. But the crowd had had enough. Within minutes, the pitch was deserted, save for Dell and Rodney, who were shivering under the tarp as the hail turned into a torrential downpour. 70 to 0.5%. Dell, Rodney muttered, his teeth chattering. I think that's the percentage chance of us being complete idiots. Chapter 24. Millionaires in Mind. That evening, the Nag's Head was a sanctuary of warmth and low-level grumbling. The Trotters sat in their usual spot, nursing a round of drinks that had been bought with the very last of the weather money. So, Dell, Boyke said, sauntering over with a self-satisfied smirk, I hear you've been trying to predict the weather. Very brave. I suppose next week you'll be selling crystal balls to the blind? It's about the spirit of discovery, Boyke, Dell replied, his voice regaining some of its usual steel. We're pioneers. We take risks. While you're sitting there counting your pennies, we're out there on the cutting edge. Trigger nodded from the bar. I like the calculator. Dell, I used it to figure out my bus fare. It said it was 70 to 0.5 pence. The driver wasn't happy, but I felt very scientific. Rodney looked at his brother. Dell was down, but he wasn't out. He was already looking at a discarded newspaper, his eyes scanning the classifieds for the next golden opportunity. You okay, Dell? Rodney asked. Dell looked up, and for a moment, the old, familiar twinkle returned, the one that had sustained them through 1,000 failures and a handful of glorious successes. Yeah, rotters. I'm fine, Dell said, leaning in close, because I've just seen an advert. A warehouse in Essex. 2,000 pairs of self-walking trainers. They've got tiny motors in the heels. You just stand in them and they do the work for you. Rodney groaned, but he couldn't help the small smile that tugged at the corner of his mouth. Here we go again, Rodney whispered. No, really, think about it. Everyone's got feet, haven't they? It's a guaranteed winner. This time next year, Rodney. We'll be millionaires, Rodney finished for him. And as the lights of Peckham flickered in the rain outside, the Trotters sat together bankrupt in the eyes of the law, but richer than kings in the currency of hope, family, and the eternal, beautiful hustle. Cushty, Dell whispered, raising his glass to the empty air where £1,000,000 dream still hovered, waiting to be caught. Cushty, the Peckham Phoenix, a novelization based on the legendary Trotters. Chapter 1, The Echoes of Wealth. The skyline of London had always been a teasing mistress to Derek Trotter. For years, he had looked out from the concrete balconies of the Nelson Mandela House estate, staring at the gleaming glass needles of the financial district, convinced that one day his name would be etched onto the boardroom doors hidden within them. And for a fleeting, glorious, almost hallucinatory period, it had been. The discovery of the Harrison Lesser Watchan antique maritime timepiece of unimaginable historical value had elevated trotters, independent traders, from a gritty stall in the local market to the upper echelons of the British millionaire class. 6.2 million pounds. It was a number that still danced in Del Boy's mind like sugar plum fairies on Christmas Eve. But as the old proverb goes, what goes up must inevitably come crashing down into a puddle of murky water in Peckham. Presently, however, the illusion of success still needed to be maintained. "I'll fetch the suitcase from the van," Del declared, straightening the lapels of his camel hair coat. It was a coat that whispered of money, even if the man wearing it was currently sweating through his tailored shirt. Beside him, his younger brother Rodney shifted uncomfortably. At 30-something, Rodney still possessed the nervous disposition of a startled greyhound. He pulled at the collar of his suit of garment that, despite its staggering price tag, always looked as though he had borrowed it from a slightly broader, much more confident man. "What's up with you, Rodney?" Del asked, catching the frantic darting of his brother's eyes. "I'm a bit nervous, that's all," Rodney muttered, looking up at the imposing Georgian facade of the literary agency they were about to enter. "I mean, this bloke we're going to see, this Justin. He's a biographer. Del, he writes books about people. He's not going to be asking me anything about my private life, that sort of thing, is he?" Del chuckled, clapping a heavy, gold-ringed hand onto Rodney's shoulder. "Of course he ain't, you plonker. We're not that private. We're public figures now. Men of substance. Entrepreneurs." Rodney bit his lower lip. He's not going to want to know about, me and Cassandra's little problems, is he? Del paused, narrowing his eyes. "What problems? You and Cassandra haven't got any problems. You live in a detached house with a double garage. You're living the suburban dream. Rotters." "That's not what you said to me the other night," Rodney shot back, his voice dropping to a harsh whisper. "All right, so there's been one or two minor hiccups in the bedroom department. The romance has been a bit stagnant, but they're personal issues. Del, I told you in strict confidence after 3 pints of export lager." All right, keep your hair on," Del placated, holding up his hands. "I'm not going to be telling him about your romantic shortcomings. And I certainly won't tell him what Cassandra wears when she's trying to spice things up, either. My lips are sealed, tighter than a submarine door, me." Rodney groaned, burying his face in his hands just as the heavy oak doors opened. A young, sharply dressed assistant ushered them into the inner sanctum of Justin, the esteemed biographer. Justin's office smelled of rich mahogany, old paper, and expensive cologne. It was the smell of established wealth, a stark contrast to the sudden, explosive wealth the Trotters had briefly enjoyed. Justin himself was a man of impeccable posture, peering at them over the rim of tortoiseshell glasses. "Sorry to keep you waiting," Gentlemen, Justin said, his voice smooth and practiced. It's been a particularly busy morning. Now, I've got all the basic details about your business career, etc. The incredible find of the pocket watch, the auction at Sotheby's. But what I'd like to do today is to get an insight into the real you. Justin leaned forward, steepling his fingers. I want to know how you started, how you became so successful against all odds. But more importantly, I want to understand your lives, your raison d'etre. Dell leaned back in his plush leather armchair, flashing a smile that could blind a badger. He tapped his cigar against a crystal ashtray. Ah, Laboratory Garney, my friend. Where shall I start? Justin. He looked up at the ornate ceiling, adopting a wistful expression. Well, up to a few years ago, we were just very ordinary people living. Well, very ordinary lives. Weren't we, Rotters? We lived in a council flat on the 15th floor and sold Moody briefcases out of a three-wheeled van. Rodney supplied helpfully, earning a sharp kick to the shin from his older brother beneath the desk. Ah, HMM, Dell coughed loudly. And then, as you know, one day I, through my expert eye for antiques, discovered a historic and almost priceless artifact, a Harrison timepiece. Fascinating, Justin murmured, taking notes. And what was your initial reaction? Anyway, at first, we didn't know what to do with it, Dell lied smoothly. To begin with, we thought about donating it to the British Museum as a national treasure. Out of the goodness of our hearts, you understand, patriotism and all that. Yeah, Rodney chimed in, unable to stop himself. And then we decided to flog it. Dell shot him a murderous glare before turning back to Justin with a serene smile. So, before you know it, me and Rotters have come into 6.2 million quid. Well, after we divvied the dosh up, making sure that our dear old Uncle Albert got a nice little drink to see him through his twilight years. We thought of others first. We donated to charity. Enormously, of course. Justin raised an eyebrow. Is that so? Oh, absolutely. The Peckham Home for the Bewildered got a very nice hamper that Christmas. Dell nodded solemnly. So, eventually, we had to start thinking about our future. We sought out this city stockbroker, highly recommended chap, wore red braces, drove a Porsche. He advised us to invest in a new and vibrant venture. Those eyes gleamed with the memory of the illusion. It was a Central American market, emerging economies. It was attracting massive funds from all over the world. We were making more money than the Royal Mint. We were rubbing shoulders with the elite. It must have been a drastic change of lifestyle, Justin noted. Did it affect your family dynamics? Oh, no, no, no. We weren't flash, Dell insisted, despite the solid gold sovereign rings adorning his knuckles. I mean, even when we went away on business to discuss global strategies, We always took the family with us. There would be me and Raquel, my significant other, and, of course, Rodney and his lovely wife, Cassandra. As Dell spoke, the memories washed over Rodney. He remembered the sprawling villa in the Caribbean, the endless flow of vintage champagne, the feeling of invincibility. But he also remembered the nagging anxiety, the sense that they were playing a game with rules they didn't understand. Dell was still talking, oblivious to his brother's internal turmoil, and not forgetting my young son, Damien, the apple of my eye, a true trotter prodigy. You know, we were in this five-star resort. Rodney's mind flashed back to the resort. He recalled the furious hotel manager, Mr. Potter, marching across the marble-tiled dining room. He remembered Cassandra trying to hide behind a massive tropical plant. Mr. Potter, it's good to see you again. Bon appetit, Dell had said, completely oblivious to the man's purple face. Ralph, you've got to have a word with Damien, Cassandra had hissed, sensing the impending disaster. People are complaining. Oh, no. What's he done now? Rodney had sighed, the familiar weight of Trotter-induced shame settling on his shoulders. He's just relieved himself in the swimming pool, Cassandra had whispered, horrified. Dell had merely laughed, waving a dismissive hand. Oh, bleep it out, Cassandra. All little boys enjoy a quick splash in the swimming pool, don't they? It's natural. Yes, Derek, Cassandra had replied, her voice trembling with barely suppressed rage, but not from the top of the 4-meter diving board. Rodney shuddered at the memory. They had money, yes, but they hadn't bought class. They had just exported Peckham to the tropics. Yes, we had it all, Dell told the biographer, snapping Rodney back to the present. We were the kings of the world. Chapter 2, The House of Cards. The illusion of invincibility shattered with the suddenness of a dropped pint glass in a quiet pub. It was the Central American economies, Dell explained to Justin, his voice losing a fraction of its usual bravado. It turned out that negotiations between the countries had collapsed. The whole market went belly up overnight. We were wiped out. Nicked the lot. The memory was still raw. Dell remembered sitting in the opulent hotel suite, the Mediterranean sun beating down outside, while he stared at the financial pages of the international newspaper. The numbers had turned red. Then they had plummeted. Then they had disappeared entirely. We'd even paid for the hotel on a credit card, Dell murmured, almost to himself. A gold card, mind you, but a credit card which, we soon discovered, had been abruptly withdrawn by the bank. That must have been a terrifying predicament, Justin noted, his pen flying across the notepad. Stranded abroad, penniless? Well, yes, Dell admitted, but Derek Trotter is, if nothing else, a very creative businessman. I came up with a solution to our dilemma. Which was? We legged it, Rodney interjected bluntly. We packed our bags in the middle of the night, climbed down a fire escape, and hitched a ride to the airport. It was humiliating. It was a strategic withdrawal. Dell corrected sharply. And anyway, how long did it take for the news to hit the UK? About as long as it took for someone to push a button on the internet. Suddenly, all our so-called business associates wouldn't return our calls. The men who drank our champagne and smoked our cigars suddenly didn't know us. We were cast into a financial wilderness. The return to London had been a grim affair. The sprawling estates they had purchased were repossessed. The luxury cars vanished back to the dealerships. The trotters were, quite literally, back where they started. But fortunately, Dell said, finding his optimistic footing once more, we come from a strong, tight-knit community. When all our old friends from Peckham heard the news, well, they were as gutted as us. They rallied round. Ah, yes, Justin said, flipping a page in his notebook. Speaking of your community, there's a name that crops up every now and then in the research. A Mr. Michael Fisher, landlord of a public house. The Nag's Head in Peckham. What part did he play in the proceedings? A heavy silence fell over the room. Dell shifted in his seat, suddenly finding his cuffs fascinating. Rodney stared intently at the ceiling. Well, Dell began slowly, clearing his throat. Mike invested his life savings in our Central American venture. He believed in our vision. He actually remortgaged the pub to get in on the ground floor. I see. Justin said, his tone neutral. And will Mr. Fisher be giving evidence in any upcoming hearings regarding the collapse? No, Rodney said quietly, he can't. Why not? He's in prison, Dell sighed, the wind completely knocked out of his sails. He's awaiting trial. Justin blinked. Prison. For a bad investment? The fraud squad claims that he tried to recoup his catastrophic losses by embezzling funds from the brewery. Dell explained, his voice thick with genuine sorrow. Never was a man more innocent in his intentions.